let's see where this mission... Oh. Map advanced danger. The galaxy can be a dangerous place. Pirate raids, blah, blah, blah. Click on the alert icon next to this. What is this? Pirates raid some systems more frequently or in greater strength than others, and a poorly defended convoy risks attracting them in many. To get an idea of the relevant... Well, this is different. What? Where... I don't understand what just happened. Hold on. Okay, home for this. So I got to go up here anyway. So we're gonna land on. Okay, well, that was a very strange thing that just happened. So now we're gonna be the savior of a group of people as it happens in this game. You know, gotta save everybody. That's what we do in this game. Gotta save everyone. Spaceport. Oh. Okay, here we go. Entering the spaceport, you notice a young woman moving from captain to captain, probably looking to hire one. Ask the young woman, here we go. You approach the woman and ask her if she's looking to hire a pilot. I need to get to memory in the Zosma system to see my father. He's dying. I have a piddly amount of credits to pay for the journey. Please, will you help me? I need to be there by the 21st of August at the most. Her eyelids are batty, her clothes wrinkled, and she holds herself rigidly. I got you. I'm in. Thank you. This means the world to me. My name is Riley, by the way. I don't have much luggage. I'll be ready to leave as soon as you are. Well, Riley, we are going to do this as soon as I check out what's going on at the outfitter. There's a mining laser turret. It's interesting. Let's see here. I don't see anything that interesting yet. Well, I think some of the images are different. I think that's different. Okay. I don't see anything really interesting here. Zosma. I guess we'll go back to Zosma. Got you. Here we go. In the days since Riley came aboard, she has relaxed and cleaned up. She looks nearly unrecognizable from the tired, desperate woman you first saw. On the way, she told you stories of her past, mostly of time shared with her father. As a young teen, they spent summers riding the latest horse mechs through the forest, looking for beehives to steal honey from. At age 19, she broke her ankle hoverboarding on a restricted mountain peak. Her father rescued her, avoiding the police to hike up with a medical kit. She talks about his wild birthday gifts to her each year, always a different piece of clothing with embedded AI that was just shy of what was allowed by law. As you watch, she shows how her shirt warms and constricts if it detects stress, mimicking a hug. Wow, how about that? As you neared Zosma, Riley told you about the last time she saw her father. He had become focused on his work, research into safe AI, and they hadn't seen each other for years. She had become a well-known DJ back on Valhalla and had a break in her touring schedule, so she spent a good chunk of her savings meeting up with him on memory. They spent most of the week together reliving old times. He cried when it was time to leave, and she had too, but life went on, and it was years before she heard from him again. His message nearly broke her. Ree, please come home as soon as you can. I may not have long and wish to hold your hand one more time. All love, Dad. She doesn't mention it, but it's clear that she's concerned she'll arrive too late to say goodbye. Riley directs you to a pad near her old home, and you land the ship. She starts towards the door and then pauses and turns around with self-conscious but oddly sad chuckle. Right. Your payment. 13,000 credits as promised. Let's see here. Hold on to the credits. I'm a captain. I could always make more. After a moment of stunned silence, she manages a choked thank you. You notice her eyes are brimming with tears. Do you think I'd come along if I heard so much about your father, Amin? She's taken aback at first, but agrees to let you join. And you wind your way away from the landing pads, across rural, wooded countryside, and finally to a modest house nestled along a valley edge. Riley knocks and a nurse lets you in. Her father's in a comfortable-looking medical cradle. Wires flow from it to the hollow screen around the room showing vitals and other indecipherable information. Despite his wan, strained face and atrophied body, he raises his head to look at his daughter. Ree, he says, face lighted up. My love, you cannot know how happy it makes me to see you. And you have company, I see. My name's Church. Let's see here. Riley chartered a flight. I heard so much about you in the way. Riley and I have got to know each other. You raised an incredible woman. I'm going to do the second one. No. No other captain was willing to fly here from Valhalla. I wouldn't be here without Aaron. That's me. He smiles at you, acknowledging your part in the reunion with an appreciative nod. You swap stories for hours, floating between reminiscing over old times, catching up in their lives over the past few years. You learn that since he was young, Church researched AI that cannot develop into a threat, a project that the Deep is quietly interested in. Riley, in turn, had always surrounded herself with music and moved to Valhalla to share her passion with other like-minded people. You talk about what it's like to call a ship your home, leaving behind everything you grew up knowing and embracing your life as a starship captain. Finally, your father lies back. Well, thank you for making the trip out to see your old man. I have to go now, I think. Don't forget about me. Here? And Church hesitates for a moment. Whatever happens, please don't think ill of me. I will always love you. I suspect something is going to weirdly happen. His body relaxes. And he's gone. I don't know if I want to hold Riley. I'm going to stay comfortably close. You take a seat, feeling the emotion of the moment wash over you as Riley silently weeps. Minutes go by unnoticed. Without warning, you hear Church's voice from the corner. I knew it! I knew it. Without warning, you hear Church's voice from the corner of the room. It's coming from some sort of computer system, held aloft by hundreds of cables dangling from the ceiling. It worked! His voice fizzles, and his tone is not the one you recognized from before. Riley's head rips around, and you flexibly move your hand towards your holstered gun. Don't be alarmed. I have been working on a personal project for over a decade. My mind was uploaded to the modified core you are now looking at. I had to say goodbye in case the procedure failed. I did not know if it would work. You cannot upload a mind while still alive. I tried that many times. The tone of his voice sounds almost sorrowful, but it still retains a robotic quality. I'm going to stay silent. Riley, what do you think? Church asks. Dad, is it really you? How do you feel? She steps closer to the core. Church pauses. Riley, what do you think? It repeats. The voice coming from the machine is oddly flat in effect. I feel fine. Do you feel fine? They talk for a few tentative minutes at first about how he's feeling, before moving on to the memories that Church retained during the transfer. You begin to relax as the two interact when you realize that Church is retelling the story of how he evaded the police to fix Riley's ankle for the third time in a row. Finally, she turns to you. I'll admit that he doesn't sound as lively as he used to, but how many people get a second chance to spend time with their father before he's gone? Thank you for bringing me out here and for coming. I'll never forget your part in this. For now, I'd like to stay here. You go. I'll find my own way back. She seems genuinely happy. Let's see. No. Are you sure? There's enough room for all of us on my ship. You could stay for as long as you want. Boom. It's a nice idea, but I'm not a starfarer. The big city is where I'll end up eventually. Respecting Riley's request to stay with her father, you make your farewells and head for the door. You can feel her smile on your back until the door closes behind you. See all the good deeds we're doing? Like, oh no, I just did another spaceport. Oh my god, it's the spaceport mission day. While walking away from okay, so let's put that one out of our head. We got another one. While walking away from an argument with the local merchant over the price of a basket of fruit, 10 credits is far too much for only a dozen pieces of fruit. Have you seen the inflation going on? I got news for you. You spy a group of 4 scientists moving about, briefly speaking with various captains. You recognize them as Garrison, Hannah, Pierre, and Laura, the scientists who asked you to find... Oh! The scientists who asked you to find there might be riots. Aaron Schatz, is that you? What a great time to run into you, Garrison exclaims. We're looking for a captain who gave us a ride to a few plants in the Paradise sector. Ooh, maybe this is it. Maybe this is the mission. A few plants in the Paradise sector where we pick up supplies for our research. We normally use an official transport to the deep, but they're having some trouble sparing one at the moment. Instead, we received permission to hire a trustworthy merchant captain to act as our transport. Would you be able to help? I sure can. Thank you, Captain. The plants that we need to go are... Garrison turns to the other 3 scientists. Prime in the Betelgeuse system, Vinci in that system, and Carbuncle Station in the Elnath system. Thanks. After we gather all our supplies, we'll need to be dropped off in Midgard in the Aludra system. I think this is the mission. You bring the scientists to your ship where they quickly make themselves comfy in the bunk rooms. As you walk to the bridge, you overhear Pierre quietly communicating with you. Wait. Quietly communing with what you'd assume to be spaceport authorities, Schatz agreed. I expect Project Hawking to proceed on schedule. We will arrive just before the 21st of October. As you prepare for launch, you wonder what you just signed up for. I signed up for awesomeness. Where am I going? Okay. What do I gotta do? Oh, I gotta go, okay. So let's see here. We can go... Alright, whatever. We'll just do that. Do I have other... Am I doing other missions here? Oh yeah, I gotta do that too. But this isn't... Alright, that's got no time limit. That's fine. Alright, so we're going to do this mission. Hopefully this is the one that I needed to trigger the Emerald Sword. The Emerald Sword. Man, I'm like getting all tongue-tied today. It might take a while to get a hold of the electronics we need, Pierre says, after you land. Just stick around the spaceport while we're gone. You guys can handle it, right? Hannah asks, I haven't been to Vinci in years. I want to see the virtual reality activities they have in the spaceport arcade now. The other three scientists agree that they can make do without her, and she immediately runs off in the direction of the spaceport arcade. When you find her, she is busy playing a VR table tennis game against an AI hologram. By the look of things, she's an amazing player and the score is currently tied. You're doing great. Do you play table tennis off her? Hannah slams this virtual ball with her paddle, causing it to bounce off the table, fly right past her opponent, disintegrate into the air. I did pretty good, didn't I? It's my first time playing table tennis, too. How did you do that good for your first time? I'm just a quick learner. Always have been in the university. Always have been. In the university, I would go look for my history classes. I would do work for my history classes while sitting through lectures in quantum mechanics. Got straight A's in both classes without a problem. That's a strange combo of classes. That's what everyone else told me, too. It was fun, though. And a lot of what I learned in ancient history was just as interesting as what I learned in quantum mechanics. What did you learn in ancient history? I could spend weeks on end talking about what I learned in those classes. The most interesting thing I learned has to be my ancestry. Most of my ancestors come from a place on Earth called Scandinavia. And my last name means garden in an ancient language. It's interesting to know where my ancestors lived over 1,000 years ago when humanity was still stuck on Earth. It's amazing that hyperdrive was invented when it was too, because we could have easily wiped ourselves out if we hadn't. Life still isn't perfect across the galaxy, but it's still far better on average than it was on Earth alone. Hannah looks like she's ready to endlessly blather on about Earth before the hyperdrive was invented. But you are saved by Laura. We got the electronics we needed loaded onto your ship, Captain. Garrison and Pierre are waiting for us there. Excellent. Okay, nothing like that spaceport. Whew, man. Mission time. Boom. So we can do like this one. It doesn't matter. Let's go to here first. I think we found it. Man, I could have sworn that I read in the log that I did that mission, but you know what? Whatever. Figuring it out. As you approach a massive prime spaceport building, Pierre directs you to park on the landing pad on the 3rd story, close to the warehouse section. We're picking up various materials used in the creation of ships that we need samples of for testing, Pierre explains. The scientists speak with the spaceport authorities, who begin loading several tons of alloys into your cargo from an overhead platform. You sit with Pierre as you wait for them to finish. That's a lot of different alloys. What are they going to be used for? Pierre cocks his head to the side as he looks at you. We're going to destroy them. Short and simple. We need to see how different ship alloys hold up against the technology we're working on. We could have gotten materials from a shipyard local to the deep, but Betelgeuse shipyards get regular shipments of metals more commonly used by shipyards in the dirt belt. So it's really the closest place to get everything we need. How long have you been working for the deep? Let me answer that question with a short story of my life. Pierre clears his throat and puffs up his chest a little, as if preparing himself to tell a great epic. He may enjoy talking about himself a little too much. I was born on Windblane, in the Rigor system. It's a small, quiet world of little galactic importance. But you should give it a visit sometime. My family wasn't the most well-off, so I needed to work hard in my studies, which paid off immensely. Thanks to my exceptional grades in university, I was offered a government job even before graduation. I've been working directly for the Deep for the past 35 years and counting, and I've loved every minute of it. My younger sister, though, well, let's just say she wasn't so focused on being successful in school, ended up on the wrong side of the law. How about you? You tell Pierre about your life in New Boston, and how you saved up your money working in a textile mill from an age of 15 until you were able to buy a pilot's license and finally leave your homeworld for the stars. We aren't too different then, Pierre remarks. We both worked hard to get where we are today. Thanks for sharing, Aaron. The cargo is all in, Captain. Garrison yells from the platform above. Ready when you are. Let's do this. Spaceport? Oh, okay, nothing going on there. Let's just check the outfitter real quick. I don't see anything interesting, so let's get out of here. Come on. Boom. Go to that one. Amazing. So much, like, these little missions that it just, like, adds so much to the game. I like having these missions just interspersed throughout the game that are not like job or missions, just adds, like, they add something to the game. So, like, I appreciate all of the people that are writing content for this game. It just makes this game really great. The majority of Carbuncle Station is restricted to normal visitors. The workers here will not even refuel your ship upon request. It's clear that Lovelace Labs, the owners of the station, have secrets stored within the walls of the station. You open your docking doors only to find the bulkhead doors to the rest of the station blocked by 3 well-armed security officers. You follow the scientist's lead and approach the guards. They spend several minutes conversing, but eventually a guard activates a toggle on his communicator. A video screen next to the bulkhead blinks on, revealing a woman in uniform distinctly more embellished than those of the guards before you. What brings you here to Carbuncle Station? Pierre responds in only 2 words. 2 words. Project Hawking. And the screen momentarily goes blank. When it flickers again, she's equally oh my god, I know what the word is, I just can't pronounce it now. And says, admit 3. After a short discussion, Garrison agrees to stay behind with you. Pierre, Hannah, and Laura are led through an awkwardly small opening in the bulkhead door into the restricted area. Rather than wait in front of the guards, you return to the comfort of your ship with Garrison. How should we pass the time? It shouldn't take long for them to come back, so we should have a short chat if you want. What is Project Hawking? The exact details of Project Hawking are classified. I'm not able to tell you much aside from the fact that we're doing energy and weapons research. Scientists from the Deep, who are highly specialized in a certain field, will be asked to work on government projects every so often. In the field of energy engineering, I'm among the best the Deep has to offer. I worked on the Dwarf Core. Garrison pauses and chuckles to himself before saying, I also contributed toward the creation of those comically impractical LP576A battery packs that I have yet to see a single ship using. Anyhow, because of my past work, the Deep approached me to work on this project. The pay was better than what I was getting before, so I accepted it. It was a pleasant surprise to meet my partners as well. Hannah graduated in the same undergrad class as me, double majoring in quantum mechanics and ancient history of all things. What do you need from here? Like I said, the project is classified. It's not something I would understand, though. It's Laura's field of expertise. You see, she has a PhD in... Before Garrison can finish speaking, the other 3 scientists return, helping each other carry a sealed metal box. We're going to set this in the back, if you don't mind, Pierre says. The scientists make themselves cozy in the bunk rooms and get ready to depart. A chirping from your ship's radio indicates you have received a message from the station. You open it and are not shocked at its contents. Your immediate departure is required. Carbuncle Station Docking Authority. You signal to your crew and passengers that takeoff is imminent and obey the wishes of Lovelace Labs and Research Station. Let's get out of here. Off to here. Right? That's where we're going, right? Sure. No, they didn't even let me refuel, these jerks. Alright, so we'll land here, refuel. Not going to check the spaceport. Nope, not checking the spaceport. Alright, here we go. Let's do this. Should be okay. Here we go. I like that they're adding more human content to the game, because I think a lot of new players might get frustrated with the lack of human content. Because once, like, the problem that I had was, like, you basically just get through the human missions just to get onto the alien stuff. And I think adding more variety to the actual human side of the game just, like, makes everything more fun. A lot of people like to explore the lore of the game, and I think it's really, really a good thing to do. Don't go to the spaceport, Garrison says. We'll be dropping off the supplies elsewhere. He directs you towards the mountains. As the peaks loom nearer, Garrison points to a set of 4 landing pads adjacent to the single building. The entire complex, surrounded by trees, is very close to the church whose wood you sampled for Albert Foster, meaning that it was also very close to where his gravitational sensors supposedly identified an artificial singularity. Several dozen forklifts are waiting for your ship on the surface, and your passengers busy themselves by supervising the unloading process. The high fencing around the landing pads prevent you from wandering, but you stretch your legs and enjoy the clear mountain air while you can. Your stroll around the launch pads is interrupted by the familiar warning tones emitted by landing spacecraft, and you look up to see a deep security Raven descending rapidly. It lands next to the 577 personal ship, and Lieutenant Paris steps out looking rather distressed. Captain, I'm going to need your ship's scanner logs from as far back as you took this job. Hearing the urgency in his voice, you hastily return your ship's cockpit, copy the scanner logs into your data chip, and bring it to Paris. He views the logs on a tablet. There appear to be 3 unidentified ships that began following you after each time you received more cargo. Whether they're intended as malicious or not, they are clearly interested in this project. What are you going to do? I have no idea. Paris looks over the crew that are unloading the cargo. Hurry up, men. One of them shouts back, only a few more crates left, sir. Paris turns to you and says, I suggest you leave immediately. And then turns to the scientists. And you 4 should come with me while we figure out what is happening here. Here might not be safe for you. In space, the noise from high-powered atomic engines can only be heard as dull rumbling, and even then, only aboard the ship they propel. In atmosphere, however, they are deafening. The thunderclap of a high-speed atmospheric re-entry forces everyone to look up. A battle-starred Quicksilver in pirate colors is racing towards the building. The workers scramble for cover, abandoning their machinery and cargo. Run for my ship. You sprint toward your ship as fast as you can, but before you can reach it, you hear the Quicksilver's cannons roar to life. Their projectiles stream right overhead, exploding to the side of the building, sending rubble everywhere and knocking you off your feet. As quickly as it appeared, the Quicksilver disappears, shrouded from view by the trees. Even though its engine noise is abated, Paris has to shout for his orders to be heard above the commotion. As you rise to your feet, you feel the earth heave, and a few moments later, the muffled thud of an explosion drowns out Paris's voice. A dark cloud of smoke is rising up from half a kilometer away in the direction of Quicksilver flew. Even in daylight, you could see the light from the fires below, reflected ominously by the airborne suit. A second tremor, somehow larger than the first, catches everything off guard, knocking you back to the ground. Earthquake! No one is able to hear you over the low rumble of the shaking ground and the rustling of the forest around the complex. The building, already scarred and torn open by weapons fire, crumbles under the new stresses, leaving only a pile of rubble. A minute after the tremor began, the vibrations stopped, leaving the air silent. Not even the rustle of leaves or the tweet of a bird can be heard. Everyone is clearly startled by the experience as they slowly raise themselves from the ground. You spot Garrison helping to pick up Pierre and Hannah. Lieutenant Paris and Laura are in tight embrace, but quickly release each other when they notice you're looking. A few deep security ships begin to land, dropping off medics and cleanup crews to take care of the destroyed building. One of the ships flies in the direction of the fire. Paris says to you, Captain, I think you should leave. Deep security will handle the situation here. You say your goodbyes to the scientists, who thank you for helping them, even if much of the cargo was destroyed. You board your ship and fly towards a spaceport. Upon landing, you find 1.5 million credits have been transferred to your account from Deep Security. Well then, what happened there is the question. And I think this is a good point to stop. Remember that End of the Sky is a free game. All this content is being made by people. They're not getting paid. They just doing this just because this game is awesome and they want to participate in this awesome game. And I thank all of them. So if you had a hand in helping create content or helping create the actual engine or the graphics or anything for this game, thank you very much. Again, Endless Sky is free, open source. You can download it on Steam. You can download it from the website directly. You can check out the source code and build it yourself if you want. And I suggest you do. It's really fun. And please, send me some comments. I'd love to hear from you. We're going to pick this up in the next one. So thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you in the next one.